In the last video, we did our intro to our factoring polynomials notes, and we talked about factoring difference of squares when we have two terms. Now we are going to move on and talk about factoring trinomials, all right? So when we have three terms, okay, and we're going to start off simple. When our trinomial is in the form x squared, I need to charge my iPad, plus bx plus c, we are going to use a simple product sum method. And I'm going to show you guys what that is for the purposes of your notes, because we already did this in class. All right. So with the product sum method, let me move up. We have, again, like I was saying, our binomial is in the form x squared plus bx plus c, where b is a coefficient, a number, and c is a constant, also a number, okay? And this is eventually going to turn into a two binomials that look like this: x plus, I don't know, some kind of a number, and x plus some other kind of number, okay? And the way that we figure out what goes in those blanks is we want to find, so we want to find two factors of c, okay, so two numbers that multiply to c that have a sum of b. Okay, so two numbers that if I multiply, I'll get c, but if I also add them up, I get b. So let's use real numbers for this because that can kind of be confusing. All right, so for example, let's go ahead and write our example down again. All right, let's say I have x squared plus 8x plus 12. Okay, so I need to find factors of 12. I'm going to start with factors of 12. All right, so on the side, I'm just going to make myself a quick table. All right, just like this. And I'm going to find factors for 12. Okay, so all my factors for 12 are 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. I think those are all of my factors. Okay, and now I want to figure out what the sums of these factors are. So if I add them up, 1 plus 12 gives me 13, 2 plus 6 gives me 8, and 3 plus 4 gives me 7. Okay, and the factor of 12 that adds up, to 8, which is my b, is this one. Okay, this 2 times 6 gives me a sum of b, a sum of 8, like I was looking for. So when I build my binomials for factoring, right, I'm going to have x plus my first factor, which is 2, and x plus 6. And that's it, I'm done. All right, I'm all done. So I want you guys to now do another example. Go ahead and try factoring x squared plus, let's do plus 8x again, plus 15. Tell me what the factors of those would be. Go ahead and pause the video and then figure it out yourself. Hopefully you pause the video. So if you guys did that, the factors of 15 that add up to 8 are 5 times 3, right? 5 times 3 is 15. 5 plus 3 is 8. So my trinomial would have factored to x plus 5 and x plus 3. And it's okay if you flipped it. It could be x plus 3 times x plus 5. All right. Now, we had it real easy because we had all addition symbols all the way across. All right. What happens if they're not always addition? Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a really quick trick to put in your notes because we already talked this out in class. All right. So if we want to talk about how to set up our binomial operations, I actually have a really nice trick that my 8th grade teacher taught me that I still use to this day. His name is Mr. Chalfin. Shout out to Mr. Chalfin. All right. So the method that I like to use, so again, I'm just going to put the generic trinomial that we've been using. Okay. And it's possible that you won't always see plus. Sometimes you'll see x squared minus bx, x squared plus bx minus c, right? You'll sometimes see pluses or minuses. So I want to tell you what those might mean. So first, we're going to focus on this second plus sign or the second operation. All right. If this operation is addition, okay, if this operation is addition, that means that both binomials have matching operations. Okay, if this is plus, both binomials have matching operations. So either they're both x plus something, or they're both x minus something, x minus something. All right. If they're x plus, then this is going to be a plus. If they're both x minus, then this is going to be a minus. All right. Now, what happens if they are both, if they are subtraction symbols? Okay. If this symbol is a subtraction sign, then that means that one binomial is adding and the other is subtracting. So basically, if it's minus, that means they have different operations. One binomial is adding, one binomial is subtracting, which means they have different operations. Okay. So now the other symbol will also give us some information. So let's see what that information is. Okay. So if this symbol, oops, that's not what I want to do. If this symbol is adding, okay, if this symbol is adding, that means either both or the larger binomial is adding. So what do I mean by that? So if we know that both our binomials are the same, then this being a plus sign means they're both plus signs. If we know that both binomials are different, if the binomials are different, that means the binomial with the larger number is going to be adding. Okay? We'll practice this in a second. I think this stuff is always easier when you have something to practice with. All right. You also have the option of this being a negative sign, a minus sign. Okay. So if you have a subtraction symbol here, that means both or the larger binomial is subtracting. Okay, so what do I mean by that? If we know that both binomials are the same, then they're both going to be subtraction if this is a subtraction sign. Or if we know that our binomials are different, then the bigger number, the binomial with the bigger number is going to be a subtraction binomial, which means the other one's addition. So let's put this into practice because that was kind of weird. All right, let's go ahead and put this into practice. So if we have some examples, all right, so we have an example Let's say we are factoring x squared minus 10x plus 16. And then let's get another example going here. We'll do x squared plus x minus 6. Okay? So I'm always going to first, I'm going to move this up. I'm always first looking at my second operation. Okay? According to my notes, if that operation is addition, then both your binomials will have matching operations. All right. So if I set up my parentheses, I'm not even going to look at my numbers first. If I set up my parentheses, I know that they should have matching operations. But is it going to be addition or subtraction? Now I'm going to look at this operation. There's a minus sign. So that means they're going to have matching, matching minus symbols as their operation. Let's go ahead and set up the next trinomial, and then you guys can actually focus on the factors, okay? So again, I'm looking at my second symbol here. It's a minus sign. So that means that my two binomials are going to have different symbols, okay? And according to this, when I come up with my factors, whichever factor is larger, the larger number is going to have the addition symbol. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the factors now. What factors of 16 give us 10? Okay, so I can do 1 times 16, 2 times 8. Oop, if they're both negative, right? Because these are both negative. Well, negative 2 minus 8 gives me negative 10. So it's going to be 2 and 8 are going to be my factors here. Okay. And then for the other one, 6, I can do 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. Okay. 2 times 3 is probably going to give me some form of 1 as my sum. And according to this, the larger number has to be an addition symbol. So it's going to be x plus 3, x minus 2, because 3 is the larger number. All right. Hopefully, if you guys are having trouble factoring in class, this kind of clarifies a little bit how you can make sure you set up the right operations. Okay. Go ahead and you guys can stop this video now, and then we have just a couple more options left over.